Brett Okamoto from ESPN alongside and still UFC light heavyweight champion Jon Jones defended his title against Dominick Reyes at UFC 247 here in Houston. And first things first, man. I mean, we talked about this all week, but let's not overlook it now. You just passed George St-Pierre for the most wins in title fight history. How does that feel?
It feels good. It feels surreal, man. I think I had a moment just a second ago. I shed some tears. I think it really hit me. Yeah, and it's amazing, man. It's amazing, man. I get to be up there with some of history's greats, man. At the end of the day, and what a way to get it too, man. And a hard-earned victory. You know what I mean? Like I embraced the grind. I embraced the suck, and I was just a little bit more tough than he was.
It's probably tough off the top of your head and in the moment,
Yeah.
but where does this rank in terms of the things you've accomplished? You've been accomplishing things for the last decade. To pass a great like George St-Pierre, 14 wins in championship fights, where do you think that ranks in your career?
It ranks up with becoming a champion in the first place. You know, there's a few moments. You know, beating Chuck Liddell's record. You know, that was nice. You know, Tito Ortiz. You know, once I started passing those guys in the light heavyweight division, that always felt good. Winning my first championship against Shogun felt good. And now, you know, when people ask me, what are you fighting for when you've done so much already? Tonight. I fight for nights like tonight.
Be honest, Jon, what did you expect out of Dominick Reyes? What kind of challenge did you really expect from him coming into this fight?
I didn't expect him to be as tough as he did. You know, honestly, I thought he was going to give me a much lighter pace. But, you know, the next time I fight him, I'll be prepared for a little bit faster of a pace. He did a great job. He really did. He fought hard. He studied. You could tell he did some homework. And he showed me some holes in my game. And those holes won't be there next time. They won't.
Do you think this changes a little bit of the narrative? Because, I mean, I think for a while now we've been saying that, hey, Jon beat all these former champions, all these big names. Now he's like, you know, he's fighting these guys that we're not aware of. We want to see him move up to heavyweight. You've had two back-to-back tough fights against Thiago Santos and Dominick Reyes. Have we been wrong? Has this narrative been wrong that we've been talking about you for a little bit?
No, I mean, every fight's going to be different. Every fight's going to be different. I got a feeling I got a lot more dominating days to come. But you know, he did a good job tonight. He really did. At the end of the day, anything can happen on any night. You know, I said that before the fight. Anything can happen. So most of the fans are like, oh, there is no more fights for Jon Jones. You know, but just because you guys don't necessarily know him or they're not these mega stars doesn't mean that they're not extremely hungry dream chasers. I know that. That's why I worked really hard and had that little bit of it in the fifth round.
Yeah, talk about that in the fifth round. When you're sitting on the stool, and you're about to go into the fifth round, and there's a very good chance that the fight is on the line. You've already fought 20 hard minutes against a big, tough guy, strong guy, physical guy. What does that feel like sitting on that stool and when you stand up from it? What's going through your head?
That's what it's all about.
Really?
Yeah, that's what I mean. A bum on the street can fight for 5 minutes. You know, most street fights only last for 30 seconds, 40 seconds. They're both sitting there tired, looking for a way out, looking to get it broken up. You know, when you fight for 25 minutes, man, not many people can do that. And those last rounds, man, that's what it's all about. That's the grind, you know. That's what most people don't ever want. People will do anything to stay away from that type of feeling, and that's what makes me different.
You said earlier when you fight him again, when you fight Dominick Reyes a second time, those holes won't be there. Why are you so sure that you're going to fight this guy a second time?
I don't know if I'm going to fight him a second time. I really don't. Rumors has it that he has a torn ACL, so he may be out for a little while. So I'm sure he'll come back. Thiago Santos is going to come back. Everybody wants a piece, man, and my job is to win again. Yeah. You know, my job is to take it one fight at a time. Some are going to be dominating. Some are going to be finishes. Some are going to be ugly. Dana White, God bless you, Dana. But I will be here. I will still be here.
You know, when you had that fight with Alexander Gustafsson, it was a different type of fight, different type of circumstances. But I remember you always saying that you wanted to fight Alexander Gustafsson again because you wanted to prove to anybody who thought that maybe Alex won or that was, you know, your toughest challenge, that you wanted to beat him convincingly, you really wanted to dominate him, and you did that. I think that was a really satisfying win for you.
Yeah.
Does this hold the same thing? There are people out there saying that you lost to Dominick Reyes tonight. There are those people, and there are those people saying that it was your toughest challenge. Do you have a feeling similar to the way you felt with the Alexander Gustafsson situation?
I feel like I do good in rematches. I do really good in rematches. So he has some good tricks, and if or when we fight again, I'm not expecting those tricks to work the same way.
Can you talk to me about Mama G? Who is this figure, and where is she? The first time she's ever seen you fight? How is that possible? Tell me about Mama G.
Yeah, Mama J.
I'm sorry, Jay.
Jon Jones. Yeah, no, it's all good, Brett. Yeah, Mama J. Thanks for asking. She's a magnificent woman. She's the mother of 12 kids, and she is the start of. I mean, I have so many cousins that are just as athletic and talented as Arthur, Chandler, and I. But she's the source. She's the main industry source. Just having her out here, I knew I couldn't lose that fight. You know, I felt like on a spiritual level, I knew the fight was won. I just didn't know it was going to be. I was going to have to work for it on that level. Yeah, I'm just so honored that she got to be here. You know, she's 83 years old, and I believe I got many more years with her. But I'm glad we got to do that. You know, I got to put some money in her pocket. Oh,
What do you mean? What does that mean? She bet on you or something?
Oh no, I just gave her a load of cash before the fight. You know, right? I won't call it a load. I got to bless her. I got to take care of her. I got to fly her out here. I got to just give her first class treatment, and she deserves it because she has seen it all in this world, and yeah, it makes me feel more whole and complete as a man taking care of my grandmother like that.
Where does she live?
She lives in Rochester, New York.
Why has she never seen you fight before?
It's been a long career. I don't know. She just hasn't. She definitely watches the fights. All my aunties and uncles and cousins, they all watch the fight together, and they have big parties when I fight. But she hasn't. She's never come out. And we made that happen tonight, and I'm so grateful.
You couldn't have made it just a little less nerve-wracking for her, huh? Was she panicked over there? Was she stressed out?
Nah, she's a woman of great faith. And so, and I'm sure she's seen a lot of scraps in her day, and probably been in a few herself.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so I'm sure she was all right. She could handle it.
Last question I'll ask you, and I know, sometimes the night of the fight, I start to ask you what's next. I ask you, where's the heavyweight, and I know you don't want to think about it. You want to celebrate your win, and I want to respect that. What I do want to ask you is, I think this year you have an opportunity to really become that person, and not even that you're not him still, but become that person who was really just carrying the torch for this sport. I mean, you were the guy in this sport, and you still are to a certain degree, but I talked to you about this earlier this week that, Conor McGregor gets a lot of attention now. You see Jorge up there. Guys are doing good things, and I'm sure you're happy for them, but you're the greatest fighter of all time. In a lot of ways, you should be carrying that torch, and I feel like you have an opportunity to do that in 2020. Is that something that you have interested in? Is that do you want to be the guy that everybody is talking about, like the biggest star in the sport by the end of the year?
I think we all have our place, Jorge brings a lot of excitement. He brings a certain crowd and fan base. I think I bring a certain crowd and fan base. Conor brings. We all have our place, and I think there's room for many stars in the sky. I'm so happy for everybody. I'm happy for myself and my position, and I feel like when you're comparing yourself to someone else, it's just a dangerous place. My job is just to be the best Jon Jones I can be, to be happy with my salary, my records, my family, and let these guys do what they got to do.
Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. For more sports and analysis, download the ESPN app, and for live streaming and special content, subscribe to ESPN+.